All right, folks, it is time for round one of the July 2025 Curators Cube League. Uh, I decided to settle on the Grixis deck, as evidenced by the deck list you watched me draft in the first part of this full run. I drafted 5 decks total. I believe that was the fourth of the 5. Only major change from what you saw was I tweaked the mana base a little bit. I went down a swamp for another island, and I went down Raislet Meditation for Cartel Muscle when I submitted my deck list. Skill Link is not in, so Cartel Muscle doesn't have the full max value, but with stuff like All That Remains, as like repeated instance, and I also have like Truth Cleaver, which can repeat an instant in a graveyard or like cast a non-creature non-land card on my opponent's turn. Could theoretically even cast a sorcery with Truth Cleaver on the opponent's turn. I figured Cartel Muscle might be able to help me push the distance because I do need some degree of lethality. We're up against HSquid on a pretty aggressive black-red deck. So this is going to be a tough run to see how this first round goes. Yeah, they're on a very aggressive deck. Wishing our opponent good luck as always. We both rolled 3s. Opponent rolled a 1 on the reroll. Let's try that again. I rolled a 5. We're looking for just lands and spells. No black sources is a little awkward, but we are primarily a blue-red deck, so that can work out for us. It's not a super great hand, though. Like, we're not doing a whole lot, and if our opponent has a really quick start, we are just going to kind of crumble to them very fast, especially with a lot of our removal being in black. Like, Crucify and Succumb to History are both in black, and Gleaming Laser requires all 3 of our colors. That being said, Strong Arm Gambler can try and help us refine to that avenue. So let's see how this all shakes out. I will keep 7. I'm not too worried about aggressively mulliganing here. Our deck is not super... our deck's not super great, but I don't know if I'm inclined to say any of our decks were like truly stellar. I think this is the most interesting of the ones I drafted by far, which is part of why I went on it. I think the value of Liliana's Goon, even in a deck that's not primarily in black, is just kind of stellar. Like this is our Squee Goblin Nabob of the format. So let's put him through his paces. We'll play a Misty Peak tapped on 1 and then pass. Opponent drops their Worried Vulpine turn 1. I believe that is, one of 5 1-drops. And I'm inclined to say that is the best of their 1-drops to get this early. So very awkward for us. We will draw a Succumb to History, but we do not have the black mana right now. We really got to get that quick because Worried Vulpine will get out of hand really fast. And Worthy Vulpine will just be unstoppable for us. That will quickly run the game over. And maybe we should have mulliganed more aggressively for removal, just on that mindset of like our opponent is going to drop something really brutal really fast. We take 1. They presumably have another land here. No, Darkright Cleric. Okay, yeah. New Divide tapped. That makes sense, I think. I think that's reasonable. We will untap and draw. We pick up the Swamp. For Succumb to History. Question then becomes, do we Succumb to History the Worried Vulpine before it presents too much pressure, or do we try and get the Strong Arm Gambler out? I think I'm interested in the Gambler. This just contests the board, makes it a lot harder for the opponent to push damage with Worried Vulpine. Like, this is not integral enough to our plan that I would be super upset to have the opponent remove it. They do only have 2 instants that can remove something. They have Burning Dawn, I guess, could also pick it off. Yeah, so they have a couple removal spells that could get rid of it, but I'm not too concerned. Because they also have Succumb to History, but Succumb to History isn't going to answer this because its power is 4, which is another reason to run this out over the Cartel Muscle. The muscle also just doesn't trade with the worried Vulpine. The Vulpine can just safely attack it. They might be holding up a trick of some kind. Braze, I mean, there's value to just holding up Braze, I guess, is really the thing that they could have here. Pick up a Hobbe's Familiar. We could go Island Familiar, swing, and debate whether we want to hold up Familiar or hold up the or debate if we want to hold up the Succumb to History or put a counter on the Familiar. I think I'm down for Island Familiar and then just not attacking. I think I'm very interested in just taking this avenue, holding up the Succumb to History. Because it can now block creatures on the ground. Was not previously able to do so, but the Theros Age of Trax buff in March made it capable of doing so. This did not work out super great for me in the GP that I played it in, but I do still like this card a lot. It's a card I'm going to miss when rotation comes for it, but get the Familiar out while we can still jam with it a little bit. Coalesced Peaks for our opponent. Guillama, Scion of Cage, is going to be, or Kage, I think, is going to be pretty strong here. We'll have to discard a card, sacrifice a non-lane permanent, and lose 3 life, or they're just going to uptick. Discarding a card. What are they doing here? Pitching a Swamp. Interesting. We are in a great position here. I'm not even going to succumb to history because I'm going to kill both of their things with Alderpeak Terror, and that is going to be really debilitating for them. So, yeah, we're just going to hold on to the succumb here. We'll untap and draw an island. It's pretty nice, but we're going to go ahead and run out the mountain here, I think, because Strong Arm Gambler is very red pip intensive. And run out the Alderpeak Terror. Very, very good Haymaker to have here. We will go to combat. I'm going to ship these at HSquid, Alderpeak Terror at Guillama. And then I will have my 4 power creatures kill their 1-drops. And there we are. The potent life swing here. Choose not to pay for Gambler's Trigger. Because we kind of can't. We don't have the mana. But yeah, that is a swift board swing. We're running on fumes after this, but we can go pay like blue red for Cartel Muscle. They have a Cash Thrasher to try and come back here, potentially holding it up. Oh, no, they're just gonna punch in actually, because why hold it up when my 4 power creatures just kill it? Yeah, so they're just gonna punch us for 2. But yeah, Alderpeak Terror is an existential problem for them. They do need to deal with this sooner rather than later. Braze deals with it, but if they just hit Braze off of their memory, it's just going to sit under there for a sec. Oh, is it a land? Yeah, they're just going to play land off of this. What could they... They can't have a trick for 1 mana here. So I think we are clear to just fight their Cash Thrasher. And I think I'm going to do so with the Strong Arm Gambler. So we will untap, draw an island. I think we will be pitching an island to Strong Arm Gambler here. Play island, mountain for Cartel Muscle. So we're going to be pushing 14 here. Go to combat. We will swing... we will swing 10. I will discard 1 card, draw a card, put a counter on the Strong Arm Gambler, and a counter on the Hawbase Familiar. And we now have a very interesting choice here, which is, do we hold up the Succumb to History, or do we go for Research Grant? Because we can go Research Grant, check off drawn 2 or more cards this turn. I think I'm interested in checking off 2 or more cards drawn. So view top 3. Oh, Liliana's Goon for free. So we're definitely, I think, putting the laser in our hand. Laser is just lethal. Truth Cleaver, Liliana's Goon. Then we can pop out our graveyard. End step. Goon comes out of our graveyard. Yeah. I forgot to check off the condition on Research Grant, but it didn't matter. So opponent is on a very board-centric strategy. Oh, this is my deck. Whoops. Opponent's on a very board-centric strategy. They've got 5 1-drops, 3 2-drops, pair of 3-drops, and then trio of 4s, a pair of 5s. And all of these things are very, very haymakery. We're talking like Ardor, Forefront to Freedom, Viviva, Grip Exec, Lucille, Ruthless Warlord. We know they've got Guillama as their 1 non-creature permanent threat. They've got 2 removal spells at instant speed, 1 more kind of removal spell at sorcery speed. They've got Raise Rampage, they've got Stain Strokes, they've got Burning Dawn and Extraction Ritual. Some very, very good stuff here. That we have to be mindful of. As far as things they could board in, they could also board in their own Strong Arm Gambler. They could board in Firebolt. That is the extent of what they have available to them. As for us, we could board in Mystery Stones or Soul Guide Lantern. They do have some graveyard things, so I think having these available to us is a worthwhile consideration. We could look at Blunt Instrument as just a reasonable cheap blocker. Pensive Caldera. We could do Wildkin Imposter to just copy their big haymaker threat. I kind of like that. Meditation gums up the board a little bit. That could be interesting and could pressure Guillama meaningfully. They don't have enough stuff I care about negating. And Grasp at Frail Dreams is the last thing we could consider. I think we're going to hold off on Grasp. What do we want to take out? Vanguard Assault would have been really nice there. We would have been able to absolutely eradicate them. Gleaming Laser as just lethal backup in hand would have been nice there, but I don't know if it was the most critical thing in the universe. Yeah, it's kind of tricky. I think we could go down the Hoarding Calibra. I don't know if we are going to have time to get to a top end. I think we kind of just want to be on board faster. So, we can trim Hoarding Calibra. We might want to keep Ella just because it's a lot of board presence out of nowhere. Maybe Cash Thrasher can go. Yeah, we can cut Cash Thrasher as well. We'll cut... Is there a world where we cut Keening Bell Tower? Maybe. I think in this matchup in particular, I'm not sure if we'll have time to want to run out the Bell Tower. I mean, if we can stick it, then it's just going to take over the game, and our opponent's not really on removal for it. I think Mystery Stone's pressuring our own graveyard. I think I want to go down Titanic Fossil, and then we could either just look at running 41 with the knowledge that our 2 graveyard hate cards can draw cards for us. Or maybe we just go down the Mystery Stones. I don't love that. Now let's go down the Raislet Meditation. Let's just board in the Graveyard Hate and the Wildkin Imposter. Actually, no. Let's go Raislet Meditation over Imposter. Imposter is just too much mana for what we're looking to do. It's the same reason that I think Hoarding Calibra comes out. I just don't think we're going to have time to get to Wildkin Imposter. So let's rock it like that. Opponent is presumably going to be on the play. Looks like they are. Interesting. So we have turn 2 Succumb, turn 3 Silverarm Spellblade with Vanguard Assault as an alternative to run out. Vanguard Assault plus Silverarm Spellblade is a big deal. So I'm inclined to say we keep this. Got a mountain from the opponent, disposable mook, yet another 1-drop on 1. It shouldn't be too shocking. An eighth of their deck is just turn 1 plays. Ooh, Enigmatic Fen is great. I would much rather play that tapped. Lets us play the mountain next turn for Vanguard Assault, and then we can go the second mountain for Silverarm Spellblade because we have double red spells in our deck. So the double red is more important. Talented Blacksmith. That could be good. Okay, we take 1. Do you have to be mindful that they could put themselves in their endgame and draw a card off the mook? We untap and draw. How-Base Familiar is interesting, but I think I'd rather develop that after the Silverarm Spellblade when the Spellblade's already drawing us cards to start growing the Familiar. So we will play Mountain. Now the question becomes, do we run out the Vanguard Assault to the turn after Spellblade or the turn before? I think we hold up Succumb to History and wait to see what they do with their Talented Blacksmith. Nice thing through all of that as well was we never revealed that we had the Succumb to History. Alderpeak Terror just let us get away with holding the Succumb in our hand the whole time. So they're likely popping their glyph here with Talented Blacksmith. They could put counters on the mook. I think that's the most heads-up play from them. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not even sure I like remove the Talented Blacksmith before damage. Even if the blacksmith, I think if the blacksmith gets counter, I will remove it. Yeah, they're putting the counter on the mook. I am going to just take the 4. I'm just going to feign the Succumb to History here. Okay, opponent might be holding up Succumb to History as well. So yeah, if they're holding up the trick, then well played from them. We untap, we draw, pick up an island. Let's play Mountain, Silverarm Spellblade, and pass. And they can't exactly Braze or Succumb to History this. Costs 2 more. Yep. So they were going to try and Braze the Silverarm Spellblade. They were, in fact, holding up removal, but worked out for us there. They say, thankfully, it's not Ward. Yeah, if it was Ward, I would just get to counter their spell. They're going for Cash Thrasher, so they're opting not to... yeah, opting not to Braze this turn. We will take 4. I might come to regret not just killing the blacksmith before attackers. Yeah. Yeah, it's very likely. We will untap. We will draw a Soul Guide Lantern. I think we are going to play Island. Pay 2 for Vanguard Assault. Activate discarding Island. Why did I do that? They have no creatures. That was a little silly. I didn't need to do that. I could have just drawn 2 without discarding a card. Well, we make some mistakes here. Yeah, we will attack with the Spellblade, trigger. We draw a card. This will untap. Then we go back to start a combat. Attack, trigger, we draw a card. Main 2. Yeah, we should have played the How-Base Familiar. I just fully like zoned in on the misplay there. We could play the How-Base Familiar just on the basis of like getting their Braze out of their hand. Yeah, I think, we made some mistakes there. Let's just own them. So, if they braze it, I will still be content with this. They are going to braze the Hobby's Familiar. Roasting the bird. So we get a food out of that. All right, cool. So if we'd played this and gotten the counter on it, it would not have mattered. I'm happy about that. That's very good. So they lose the memory here. So the card cached here is just gone for good. They're going to push another 4. So we will take 4. Get another new card under here. They only have 2 spells that can point burn to the face. And there's no combination of those spells that kills us outright here. Burning Dawn. Okay, they're going to Burning Dawn the Silverarm Spellblade. That is very good for them. Burning Dawn sitting here in graveyard is going to... Could flip into Sungrace Totem where it's deal 4 for a 4/4 flying for 6 mana. Very, very good card. Glad we're holding the Soul Guide Lantern. We will untap. We will draw Dubious Path here. I think we're going to hold both of these duels for the time being. Actually, do we? Or do we play the Misty Peak? I think we play Misty Peak tapped. Yeah, Peak tapped. Gambler. And Soul Guide Lantern. Eat Burning Dawn. So that is dangerous threat dealt with. They're at 1 card in hand. They obviously can get value off the memory tokens, but we just kind of have to be doing our damnedest to push through all of that. There is a world where we get to swing for draw a card, draw 2 potentially, or even 3 if we just completely draw blank. Okay, they're playing the card. It's their own Strong Arm Gambler. Question is, do they try and push damage and let me kill their Cash Thrasher? Rooftop Slink. Interesting that they value that over pushing the damage in. Yeah, so they are now in their end game. We are going to let them resolve Cash Thrasher. They put a card under a memory token. We will block here and take 2. We pick up a research grant. So let's go for the grant. Few top 3. Gleaming Laser, Tireless Aspirant, and Kythar the Frozen Peak. I'm very happy about finding the Gleaming Laser here. Because they could try and go for, like, flip Rooftop Slink here. And I could just burn the Slink with Gleaming Laser instead. So we'll move this to our hand. Put these into our bin. This does mean we're not getting progress on Research Grant here. Unless we go for the laser now. But I think I am favored for just holding it up. I could offer the trade on the Gambler now. There's no harm for that, because I get to untap it if they don't take the trade. I dig that. Yeah, they're just taking the trade. Cool. So they're going to go for flip Rooftop Slink here. I'm going to get to gain 4. This is also relevant if they have something like Lucille, Ruthless Warlord, hiding under here, or if they go for Lucille, I can Gleaming Laser that instead. So that's more incentive to just kind of hold on to the Gleaming Laser. And the nice part of that threat is I also threaten to draw 2 cards and put a counter on Research Grant. Little did they know I wasn't going to do that, but it was certainly something I could threaten. So they have a memory here. They have 3 on board. They could turn it into 4. I do technically have 8 life because I have the food face up here. No, blocks any effects before damage. I think I'm cool to just take this. Because they're deliberately not popping Rooftop Slink, so I take 3. They're going to pass on having us discard. Paying 4 for Mercult Shadebound. Oh no. Oh, and it's a 6/6 because I have 10 or less life. Yeah. And Gleaming Laser's not going to put me out of range of that. So we were going to crack this, gain 3. I might have to crack the Soul Guide Lantern here. I might have to crack this for card draw on their end step to see if I can find an adequate answer to Mercult. Yeah, I think I've just got to crack this to draw a card. Lavatorn Fields is not going to cut it. We draw Truth Cleaver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We do have Succumb to History online, and we can even do that on their turn. We can declare Truth Cleaver as a blocker and then do that. So we'll play the Lavatorn Fields, play Truth Cleaver, and ship on over. Truth Cleaver was a really meaningful draw here. Worst case scenario here is they rip Lucille off the top. Fabricated Anomaly is also really devastating. So I think we're going to have to Gleaming Laser that next turn. But for now, we stay in it. They're going to flip Rooftop Slink, get a K from me. They can only put counters on Mook or Spectre here. We're in a really bad spot either way, though. This is a very, very awkward spot. So we have the Truth Cleaver line up here. Okay, they are shoving as much as they can. Fabricated Anomaly trigger. What are they putting counters on? Spectre or Mook? Spectre is the presumed target here. Yup. I'm going to put Truth Cleaver in front of the Mook. Before damage, I would like to crack exiling Succumb to History, and I would like to succumb Mercult. The fact that this is instant speed was very nice. They said, damn, it did matter, because I have 9 lands set up right now. So I take 3. They force me to discard a card. I pitch the Dubious Path. They do not get a counter on the Spectre from that, though. There could be merit to killing the Spectre over the Anomaly, but we'll see what our draw is before we make any decisions on that. We pick up a Mountain. Not great. I think we hold the Mountain. And we will just ship on back. Yeah, we don't have anything too high on the curve. Also, turns out Wildkin Imposter would be stellar here to get 2 Synthetic Specters. I'd love that. Okay, so they're pitching a Swamp here with the Puzzle Box. That tells me they probably have a land under this memory token. In Start of Combat, they are shipping, I think, before attacks. I can Gleaming Laser the Fabricated Anomaly. I take 5 damage either way here, because Fabricated Anomaly is going to get a put it counter on itself or Mook. So I either take 5 from that, or I take 5 from Spectre Mook and kill the Anomaly. And I think... I don't know if it truly matters. I think the big difference maker here is this is going to be a 4/4, whereas this could be a 3/4 or a 3/3. I think we gotta go for killing the Spectre, so we at least get to hold a card in hand. Yeah. I was debating if I wanted to hit the Anomaly. That's part of why I said to go beforehand. Yeah, they're going to put a counter on Anomaly. We go to 1. There is a burn spell they could have here. They could have Set Ablaze. Guillama also does it. Yeah, because they can -2 and force me to lose 3. So reevaluating sideboarding here. Mistwreath Stones, Soul Guide Lantern did look like they could be really relevant, but I just kind of had to crack Lantern and find something meaningful. Raislet Meditation would have helped a lot. We ended at 1, so us taking the 2 earlier on in the game did not actually matter, which is very funny to think about. It kind of pushed me into a more tight spot, but I think my opponent was always making the attacks that they did make. So we could look at boarding in the Wildkin Imposter. We could look at boarding out... I don't know. Maybe Ella? Nah, Ella's just still so good into what they've got going on. Vanguard Assault did some meaningful work there as well. And we can't go down Bell Towers. It's just so profoundly important. Maybe we do go down the Mistwreath Stones. Pressuring our graveyard seems really awkward. And this is really slow to pressure theirs, yeah. The fact that we can discard it so we functionally get around paying 2 of the 3 mana is nice, but I don't think they're so dependent on their graveyard that we want 2 pieces. So I'll play... Island Lavatorn Fields, that classic check land with no swamps or mountains. But we can go Tireless Aspirants on 1 and try and find something more meaningful. Or, when in doubt, we could just play Lavatorn Fields tapped on 2. We'll keep it, though. Aspirants is a really nice start. It is a meaningful blocker for some of their things. So, yeah, pretty good. Oh, wow. Keeping 5. Goodness gracious. Aspirants. We will draw an Emgarin Duelist. Ooh. Do we pitch the Strongarm Gambler? There's no way we pitch the Strongarm Gambler, right? Maybe it's Strong Arm Gambler or Ella, because we need to keep the two. We need to keep one of our threes, and Speaker is the more profoundly powerful three. I think we're going to pitch the Strong Arm Gambler. Gambler did some nice work for us in those 2 games, but I think we need to prioritize what we do have. Mountain and Pass is interesting given their 5/1 drops, but they did have to mulligan twice, so it might be that they just kept the best thing they could. Truth Cleaver is the draw here. Kind of awkward, but we make do with what we've got. What hasty creatures could I be? I keep doing this. I keep tabbing over to my deck list and not theirs. What hasty creatures could we be worried about that we might want to hold back a blocker for? Nothing that Tireless Aspirants can meaningfully block. So let's go to combat. Push 1. Main 2. We'll play Lavatorn Fields tapped and pass. If we had gone for Fields tapped on turn 1, we could have developed our own Emgarin Duelist in the face of theirs. As it stands, I'm just going to go Speaker of Ash, discard Truth Cleaver, and kill their Emgarin Duelist. Actually, I can't go Speaker if I don't find a black or red source here. Oh, that's profoundly awkward. Yeah. Yikes. Hate to see that. Well, we can develop Emgarin Duelist as a meaningful blocker, or we can go How-Based Familiar. I think we're going to run out our own Duelist here. Play Island and pass. Not the best case scenario if they can remove the Duelist, but we just got to kind of live with that. Wow, 3 mountains from the opponent. Burning Dawn, the Emgarin Duelist. My god. Sure thing. Yeah, they really want to get this rolling. So we take 2. They will make a treasure. You're both having mana problems, but can I? Oh, that's not going to quite solve it. I can play this tapped and guarantee the Speaker of Ash next turn. Or I can play this untapped as the backside, play Truth Cleaver, How-Based Familiar, swing Truth Cleaver, force us both to loot. And then I get a counter on the Familiar. I don't think that's as good as just getting the Caves of Ignia into play tapped. So let's... Notably, this is also just like graveyard hate in a pinch. Yeah, let's Caves of Ignia tapped. I think Truth Cleaver here is the play. Man, the Speaker of Ash would have been really nice to pick off this Emgarin Duelist, but just not quite what we have. Debating if I want to swing with the Truth Cleaver. Because I will swing with the Truth Cleaver, and I will just elect not to have us discard and draw. And then I will pass. And they'll get to clock me for 2 here, but we'll be on the board with Speaker of Ash the following turn. 4th Mountain, my god. Cash Thrasher's really rough for us here. So not only do they get the memory token, but they now have something to insulate their Emgarin Duelist. That is definitely worst case scenario. I think if I had seen this coming, I probably would have held up the Tireless Aspirants to block the Emgarin Duelist and just deny it. But they went for the treasure here, which is honestly much better for us. Oh god, not another 2-drop. Yeah, that's really good as well. They get to make the glyph. This is going to let them scry and start buffing their things. I can at least pressure them to sacrifice something here. We untap, we draw Mountain. See, the worst part of this is I'd love to run out the How-Based Familiar here, but then I won't have a 2-drop to pitch to Speaker of Ash. And I do think I have to force them to... I could sacrifice the Truth Cleaver. No, I have to hold up Truth Cleaver, and I think I have to eat... No, here's what I do. I'm going to Truth Cleaver, eat their Burning Dawn now, use Burning Dawn, shoot the Duelist, maybe? All of these are rough. But I think I have to use Burning Dawn now. Because they can cast Burning Dawn next turn. I don't know. This is just so rough. We're going to play Mountain. We are going to pay for Speaker of Ash. We will discard Halbe's Familiar. So each opponent sacrifices a non-land permanent with mana value equal to the sacrificed or discarded card's mana value. So wow, they're actually picking off the Umgaran Duelist. That is, I think, the thing I was most interested in them losing here. So that's fine by me. I'm also thinking about if I care to wander the Tireless Aspirants. No, there's not really many things I'd want to be putting in my graveyard right now. I think I just need to hold Ella Rose Court Queen, and not dig too far down. And I think I may need to... Yeah, I just need to get rid of that, deny that resource from them. And Blacksmith plus Cash Thrasher is going to be pretty nasty, but we work with what we've got. They probably want to play their memoried card here if they can. 3 mana. Strong Arm Gambler. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, playing the Swamp here does mean they can't loot here. Yeah, so they do dumpster their memory token. They're just going to swing the Talented Blacksmith. Interesting. Okay, they scry 1 to the bottom. They can still pay the red to put a counter on the Strong Arm Gambler is the concern here. I think I do need to take the trade. I don't love it, but I don't think I can let them get a counter on the Strong Arm Gambler here. And now they're just out of resources. They've got the Cash Thrasher and the Strong Arm Gambler in play. They've got a pair of 2-drops in the graveyard. We untap. We draw an Enigmatic Fen. What do we want to play this for? It would be... I think it would be for, like, paying to draw a card off of Keening Bell Tower next turn. So we are going to play the Enigmatic Fen, and we are just going to pass. And we're kind of tilting our hand a little bit, like, not wandering Tireless Aspirants here, playing the tapped land. That's giving the game away a little bit. Oh, they're debating if they want to swing in with the Cash Thrasher. Okay, yeah, they're just checking to see if I have responses before they attack. Do I want to use things to block what they've got going on? I'm definitely flashing this out on this turn. I think I'm cool to do so before we declare blockers. Need to think how much I want to block here. Maybe I should have done this before casting Ella. Because now I'm sitting here going, like, maybe I just don't block. Is it crazy to just take 6 after flashing out Ella before blockers? It feels really stupid. Yeah, especially with Strong Arm Gambler being normal combat damage, so they can Cash Thrasher, pay for Strong Arm Gambler, put a counter on this before damage, so they actually deal 7. I think I'm going to put 1 Wizard token in front of Strong Arm Gambler. And yeah, they will use the Strong Arm Gambler. Pitching a Sludge Drudge. It's pretty good when you're on Raise Rampage. And then, yeah, Gambler is out of reach now. Or further out of reach, rather. Okay, they're paying to +1. Okay, Mook. That's fine. Okay, yeah, they're using the treasure trick to put themselves into endgame. Oh god, don't tell me this is extraction mission. Oh god, fabricated anomaly is also really bad. Oh god. Sure. Yeah, that's devastating. We will untap. We will draw. Gleaming Laser is insane here. Okay. We have the game here suddenly. Gleaming Laser. I was like, can we Gleaming Laser their face? No, not meaningfully. God, that was a really good draw, though. So I think we just ship on over here, hold up the Gleaming Laser. They cannot meaningfully get one of their creatures out of range of Gleaming Laser. Gambler is the only thing at 4 toughness, and they need to put 2 cards in their graveyard to do so. Yeah. I think I'm going to let them do this. So they get another memory token. Where are they distributing counters? They're eating 3 to put counters on everything but Fabricated Anomaly. Oh, no. Okay, so I can put Ella Rosecourt Queen in front of Fabricated Anomaly, Gleaming Laser, sacrificing Tireless Aspirants, shoot these 2, and have Tireless Aspirants in front of the Mook. I think I put the Wizard in front of the Mook then, actually, because I think I'd rather keep Aspirants to try and dig for something meaningful for next turn. So we're going to do block here, block here. Um, I will Gleaming Laser the Strong Arm Gambler. Trigger. I will sacrifice to also kill the Cash Thrasher. So I gain 8 and kill their Fabricated Anomaly. That felt good. 2 damage marked on the Anomaly. If they have Set Ablaze here, they can kill Ella. Ooh, okay, land drop. They did have the Set Ablaze for Ella. Okay. At the very least, they're not drawing cards off of this. And now we are neutral 1-drops on each side of the board. Puzzle Box is really good for them, but we have stabilized. Island. There is no world where we hit a 4-drop that can attack because we do not have much in the way of hasty creatures. So, yeah, and one of our only cheap hasty creatures is dead. The reason to hold on attacking before would be Cartel Muscle to try and push 3 damage instead of 1. But then we wouldn't get the combat damage trigger because it would be Summoning Sickness. Or it would be Summoning Sick. So let's go to combat. Let's chip for 1. Second main. Cast Tireless Aspirants. We will draw a card. Discard. Liliana's Goon is great. Let's do it again. Any reason to pay double, to hold up double red? Not that I can think of. Yeah, so we're gonna hold up. We're gonna use Caves of Ignia for this. Cast it again. We draw Keening Bell Tower. Goodbye Island. And we will just hold there. Goon comes back because we hit them. And they might hold back the Mook because we have the Tireless Aspirants here. The Bell Tower coming after we've lost Ella is really unfortunate, but we work with what we've got. 1 Bell Tower will still do plenty. We do have to be aware that Stain Strokes could get some value for them with Fabricated Anomaly. They just pass. This could be them sitting on one of their instant speed tricks. I keep doing it. I keep looking at my deck list. I just need to import my opponent's deck list. But they could be sitting on Succumb to History. It's really the only thing, because did they use? They did not use Braze. They could be sitting on Braze as well. That's fine. We untap. We draw Silver Arm Spellblade. There's no world where that's better to develop than Keening Bell Tower, right? We will go to combat. Swing 1. Do they have the trick? They are going to succumb the Tireless Aspirants. Wow. Okay. Yeah, main 2. Maybe we just run out the Spellblade here? Maybe? No, I think we will go for Keening Bell Tower and then hold up to draw a card. Because I don't think they have artifact removal. So this is going to be a real problem for them. I did it again. HSquid reversed turn order. Now it's reversed. That's weird. I've never seen that before. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. Strange. I'm going to pause real quick while we troubleshoot this. We'll be right back. All right. I paused and they figured it out almost immediately. So they're going to draw here, Puzzle Box immediately, pitching Decadent Hall. We're just going to say K. We have no answers to Puzzle Box, so they're just going to get to do their thing. Very glad that Gleaming Laser exiles as well. We take 2. That's fine. Worst case scenario here would have been Lucille, I think. Lucille or Mercalt. We gain 1, deal 1. Pick up the Vanguard Assault as well. We will untap, draw, gain 1, deal 1. Cartel Muscle. Ooh. We will go for Silverarm Spellblade. And we're not going to run out the Vanguard Assault yet. We're just going to kind of chill. But yeah, Vanguard Assault plus Silverarm Spellblade and Keening Bell Tower and Cartel Muscle plus Vanguard Assault also does it. Mercalt is a good draw for them here, but not good enough. Rampage. Okay, that could actually do some meaningful things for them. So +1/+1 in haste. They are going to get to chip for 8. They do turn on Mercalt and give us give themselves 5 life this way. So we take 8. They gain 5 back to 18. End of their turn, I will Bell Tower myself to draw, gain 1, shrink Mercalt back down. We find in all that remains. We'll untap, draw, ping them again, picking up a swamp. They have no blockers, so we are in the clear here. I believe we have it. They're at 8. They're at 16. Cartel Muscle makes this 5. Draw is 6. Cartel Muscle, Vanguard Assault, then so Cartel Muscle plus Vanguard Assault is 3 plus 3. Yeah, they take 3 plus 3 is 6, and then another 6, that's 12. Plus 2 from Keening Bell Tower, and then I can discard all that remains and do it on their draw step. I think I've got you on your upkeep. So Mountain, Island, Island, Cartel Muscle. Two for Vanguard Assault. We will go to combat, swing, untap. Oh, actually, no, I'm only putting my opponent to 4. So yeah, we will get the first draw and the second draw. I'm 2 off, actually. Main 2. And yeah, using the Lavatorn Fields was sloppy there because Raislet Meditation was a potential draw. Yeah, I'm 1 off. We make these mistakes, and we just gotta live with them. We'll play the swamp here so we can just draw. I will have also gained 2 from this. So we can just activate the bell tower here. We've still got a pretty comfortable position here. Yeah, we can just pass. We've got Alderpeak Terror plus Vanguard Assault for 8 over the top in a pinch. And like they don't their blockers don't matter. Yeah, we're not gonna do the all that remains discard. Sloppy math is sloppy math. Merciless Shield Breaker, yeah, there's just no time. They need to find an answer, and now. But the thing is, they need to find an answer for like Vanguard Assault, Spellblade, and Keening Bell Tower. Okay, Mountain, Swamp. Oh, maybe not. Could have been an argument for going for Shield Breaker plus Rampage. They're just going to go Rampage. Yeah, so chip us for 8 again. Are they not swinging the Mook? All right. Take 5, they gain 5. I will draw. Gain 1, they take 1. I untap. If they have Braze, they could, in theory, get through it. So I just play Mountain. All that remains, or sorry, I play Mountain Alderpeak Terror. One, two, three, 4, 5. Alderpeak Terror. I'll pitch Liliana's Goon. Go to combat. Swing with just the Spellblade. All right, we got there. Whew. All right, that was tense. Sorry for going a little silent there towards the end. Just kind of in the zone and a little nervous that my miscalculation on the previous turn could have cost me drastically. Fortunately, it didn't. There were absolutely draws the opponent could have had that would have been really rough for us. Namely, Lucille Ruthless Warlord would have been pretty devastating. Let's just pull up that card image for you all real quick. Oh, nope. Oh, I know why that didn't work. BLR. Let's try that again. There we go. Yeah. This card would have been pretty devastating for us, just making it so their other things deal double damage, and then it's also a 6/4 first striker. Yeah, that would have been profoundly rough to be sitting across from. But yeah, we got some very good luck there in game three. Being cautious with Ella, holding Ella for as long as we could, choosing not to block too much with the turn that we developed Ella, and then getting to uh, rip that gleaming laser off the top and then completely swing combat math in our favor, pad our life total by 8, which did matter because Merkalt just barely turned herself into a 6/6 afterwards. So, every point of life we gained that game mattered a good deal in terms of keeping Merkalt offline for as long as we could. Yeah, it was some tense games, some fun games. I'm happy to have selected this deck. I think I was correct in determining that this was the strongest of my decks of the 5 I drafted. And yeah, we got to put some really cool synergies to use. Got to use Truth Cleaver both as instant speed, flashing back one of our cards in our graveyard, and as just graveyard hate in a pinch. We got to use Tireless Aspirants to sort of dig us past some troublesome permanents, and we got a removal spell off of our 1/1, which was pretty big as well. Strong Arm Gambler just being a 4/3 was really great in its own right. Speaker of Ash, our like double red and black red spells are really awkward. Kind of felt the pain on that a little bit because we are down to 6 black sources. So Speaker of Ash is a little harder for us to get in play, but it did end up mattering, and they sacrificed the 2-drop we wanted dead anyways, so it all worked out. And then we got Silverarm Spellblade getting to put in some work, even when we're misplaying and discarding a card. It didn't really matter. Liliana's Goon feeling great already. With us getting to mill it over with Research Grant and then buy it back immediately. Yeah, there's a lot of nice little synergies here that I'm really happy about. So we'll see how this deck continues to shape up in future matches. So far, the theory is pretty sound, and I look forward to putting this deck through its paces against future opponents. I will see you all there on the next round. Until then, take care, everyone, and I will see you in the Revolution chat. Bye-bye.